Hey everybody, Brad Boehmer with Team Latitude 64 and Team Natty out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and glad to represent Team Boom out of Dayton, Ohio. I haven't done an in the bag video in a while. I've gone through some changes the last couple years in my bag, and I'm ready to start out with a fresh bag for 2017. So let's get going. I'm using the new Zuka cart from Dynamic, obviously. I'm tired of carrying a bag for longer rounds, tournament rounds. I like carrying a lot of discs, so being able to have a bag that I can take out if I really want to, or be able to use the cart. This cart's been great. It's a lifesaver so far. So anyway, I'm gonna get to in the bag. I'm gonna start out with my drivers. My high speed, my ultimate. It's not a super strong wind fighter, but it can handle moderate to light winds. That's a Gold Line Ballista. I can get that probably 350 to 400 feet. That's my longest throwing disc right now that can handle. It can really handle torque. It's fast. If you haven't tried a ballista, the ballistas came out in 2015, I believe, from Latitude. Super high speed disc. They can handle some wind. Great disc. For a little more wind, for a lot of wind anyway, I'm throwing Gladiators. I have 3 of them in my bag right now. They're probably all going to stay. I might kind of rotate in the Gold Lines, but the Opto, that's the real beefy wind fighter. That one, if I need to get around a corner or if it's really windy, this is what I'm going to throw with some distance to it. It can handle the torque. If it's just a little bit windy but I need to get around something with some skip, I'm going to throw the Gladiator. I've got 2 Gold Lines right now. I've got the misprinted Deco stamp Fledbergs, and I just got one from the Next Generation Tour. If you haven't heard about the Next Generation Tour, check it out at nextgendiscgolf.com. Really cool. It's going to have some exclusive plastic in your players packs, but it's where you can get this Gold Line Gladiator right now. What I like about these is these can handle the wind. They're really straight, but they're going to fade still for me at the end. They're not super strong hooks, but they'll handle the wind. That's what I also throw in the wind if it's too windy for the Ballista. But I don't want a lot of hook because I'm going to throw these Gladiators. These Gladiators can handle it and are nice and straight. My next disc, I've got a couple culverins. I drop down in speed. We'll drop down in speed as we go. I believe these are 9 or 10. I have one in an Opto and I have one in the Gold Line plastic. Very similar. Both can handle some winds. They're not really strong wind fighters again, but they're really nice, stable to overstable fairway driver discs. But again, the Opto is going to hook a little more for me at the end, where the Gold Line is going to finish a little more straight. But if it doesn't have much wind, I still will get a little fade. A little bit confusing, but more fade on the Optos, nice and straight on these cheap Gold Lines. I carry one Halo. This is a newer run Halo. What I like about this Halo is I can throw this on a bunch of different angles and it's still overstable enough that it's going to come back. If I throw it on a flat release, generally it's going to flip up a little bit, and I can shape shots more in the woods, or if I got to get around a couple trees in the fairway, I can throw it on a hyzer and it'll carry that hyzer shot. If I tend to throw it on an anhyzer, it's still going to get out there, but if it's not too windy, it's going to fight back. So it's a good fairway shaper for me. Some discs that I probably had in my bag the longest are Saints. I've got 2 Saints. I've got this Gold Line Saint and this Fusion Deco stamp with my stamp on it from a couple years from the good folks at Latitude hooked me up with. What I like about these are 2 separate, they're the same disc, but this one's a lot more beat in. So if I need it to go left a little more because I'm left-handed, it's really gonna go left if I give it that pop to it. Whereas the newer Deco die one, it's a little more straight. I don't have to give a lot of power on these Saints. They're nice. They're shape shoppers. Or if I can throw it on a hyzer, they'll pop up and they'll just ride straight. I love the Saints. Can't get enough of them. And then for the last of my drivers, a new Gold Line Spark. Each round I'm throwing this more and more, not for super distance, but just for placement. Even on a wide open shot, if I need some placement, or if I need to get around some trees or a little bit shorter of a distance fairway, but I just don't think that it's good enough or a little bit too much wind for a mid-range, I've been grabbing the Spark a lot and really starting to like it. So not overstable, not understable, just very neutral flying. It's a great disc. All right, I'm gonna go next to my mids. My mids, I've got 3 anchors. I've got one in the anchor, I've got one in the retro plastic, real tacky, kind of like the old base plastic. If you've been playing for a while, the old DX type plastic. I like it because as it's beaten in to be a little less understable and still have that fade as a mid. Great placement shot. And then I'm carrying an Opto, and also I'm carrying a Gold Line deco die. Carry 3 of them in my bag right now because they're great. They're new overstable discs. The Opto has definitely more of a meat hook to it. Not strong meat hook, I don't take it like that, but it's definitely got more of a fade to it. If you need to get around something or if the wind's a little bit stronger. And then the deco die, really straight to almost understable a little bit if it's got some wind. It's really slowly but surely, it's that great placement mid. And then also, something I haven't been able to get rid of is a West Side Warship. It's the only disc in my bag right now that is not Latitude. It's from one of the other trilogy companies. It's from West Side Disc, and the West Side Warship, it's a tweener disc. It's a great mid-range, but it's so sneaky glidey that it could almost be a fairway driver. There's Warship shots, and those Warship throwers, they know what I'm talking about with a Warship shot. Warships are great discs, mid-range. One disc that I got in the bag the other day, it is a reprocessed anchor. This is going to be exclusive. You're only going to be able to get this through the Next Generation Tour. The good folks at the Next Generation Tour sent me the Gladiator and this reprocessed anchor to try out, and as much as I like the anchor already, I'm really hoping that this is going to be my understable complement to the rest of my discs, because I really like the feel of the anchor, and sometimes the deco die is still a little bit too overstable. So once this breaks in, I think it's going to be sneaky. It's kind of a utility disc, but I carry 2 of them for different reasons. It's the Triple X. It says overstable driver, but I can't really probably get them 250 at best. On a tailwind, 275, because they're both such meat hooks. I like the Opto to flick it more for more placement. The Opto seems to fight the wind a little bit better than my Gold Line. The Gold Line I really like to throw backhand and let it get out there. Both are good for skips and play with the skips, but there's just so many shots that the Triple X comes in handy with. I love them. Putters, I've got a few putters. Recently I put the new Caltrip in the bag. I carry 1 in soft and I carry 1 in medium. The medium I tend to throw on shots that I really got to put a lot more torque into, or tight tunnel shots. The Caltrip, it's really straight and not much fade at all. It's just a nice neutral straight, not overstable, but a nice stable putter. But I don't putt with them. I use them both for up shots. I use the soft for a lot longer, gradual hyzer shots, or if it's a little more wide open and I can just kind of give it a little anhyzer and just let it shape itself back in. I use this. I used to carry a real soft Mercy that was all beat up and wobbly around, and I carried it for almost 4 years, and I found out that the soft Caltrip is just as straight without the glide as those soft Mercies that I used to love to throw as my up shot. So I'm really liking the soft Caltrip as the up shot. For my putting putters though, I use the Mercy. In years past I've been using the medium. Come summertime, in the wintertime I'll use a soft Mercy just because it stiffens up a little bit. but once the weather hits, like it's 73, 74 degrees today here, I like switching over to the medium. But something that I didn't have last year was this new retro plastic, and it's a little stiffer, it's a little harder, but it's just as grippy. It's really, and I'm finding it, I have more control with this retro plastic even over this medium. But if there's danger of hitting a tree, sometimes I'll throw this medium a little bit because it's a little bit more, a little higher plastic, a little quality of plastic. It can take the ding, where these retros are just a little bit base plastic, and they'll get dinged up a little in the trees. But I'm really loving these retro Mercies. So that's all I have in my bag today. Be sure to check out Natty Disc Golf out of Cincinnati. They're on Facebook. Be sure to check out Boom on Facebook, and check out Latitude 64. They have their own company Facebook page, and then if you're interested, come to the Latitude 64 Westside and Dynamic Disc fan page on Facebook. Thanks. Have a good day.